Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about if the Washington Commanders should make a trade for a running back like Breece Hall and some other options for the Washington Commanders at the running back position, especially in the 2025 NFL Draft. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Let's get right into it. So I've seen a lot of people talk about Breece Hall and why the Washington Commanders should trade for him and why they shouldn't trade for him. It's been a rumor recently. I'll talk about why in a second, but this video is mostly going to be about rookie running backs the Commanders should draft, but I will address this rumor because people have asked, a couple people in the comments on Twitter, so I'll talk about it. So recently there's been some rumors about a possible, Breece Hall trade. Aaron Glenn talked about the running back room, says we have 3 running backs on this team that we're going to utilize as much as possible. He kind of talked about running back by committee and how that's how he kind of plans to use the running backs, and then people started to speculate, all right, maybe this means they're going to trade Breece Hall, and then, Breece Hall put out a tweet, I don't know, just a gift. Nowadays there's so much analyzing that's done with social media and stuff like that. But, just to say basically that, it's draft season. There's a lot of smoke screens. But, there was a trade that they put out on Twitter. It was Breece Hall for a 6th round pick, a 3rd round pick next year, and then Luke McCaffrey. I would say most Commanders fans were against it. And, I don't really care. I don't really care. I think Breece Hall would definitely help out the Commanders, but, he's almost done with his rookie contract. You're going to have to pay him soon. So I don't know if that's the best route, especially when you have a lot of rookie running backs available in this class that you can go after that, you can probably develop. But I didn't really love the reasoning behind a lot of the comments. They were like, yo, we cannot give up Luke McCaffrey. No matter what, we can't give up Luke McCaffrey. And for me, I like Luke McCaffrey. I liked the pick at the time. And, he showed some flashes, especially early on in his rookie year. But come on, guys. Luke McCaffrey should not be the reason we're not making a trade. It just should not be the reason we're not making a trade. And, again, I like him. He has some good potential and stuff. But, if there is, it's close to a trade being made and the, final factor is Luke McCaffrey for you to make the trade or not, and you're not going to make it, I think that's a little crazy, to be honest. But a 3rd round pick, a 6th round pick, and a player, I think that is it's a little bit too much, I would say, for Breece when, again, I'll look it up right here. Sorry about that. I'll look him up in terms of his stats and everything. I mean, he's a good back. He's a good back for sure. Still young, 23 years old, but, definitely his contract is going to be up in a second. So, that is something you're going to have to keep in mind there. So after this year, his contract will be done. So he's a free agent after 2025. So you're just going to have to re-sign him. You're going to have to, extend him. And, he doesn't have a 1,000-yard rushing season. And then, receiving-wise, he's pretty good, 500 yards-ish, over the last couple years. But, yeah, for me, that's just you're giving up a 3rd, a 6th, and then, a younger player that you just drafted in the 3rd round for a guy that, yeah, he's a good back. He's young, but these numbers don't wow me. These numbers don't wow me. I thought he had a 1,000-yard season by now in terms of rushing, but was close in 2023 and, tore his ACL in 2022, but just isn't elite enough, and you only have 1 year left on the rookie contract. For me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense to make that move. If it's way less than what this is, which it won't be, then I think you can do it. But for me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And for some reason, Robles is trending on Twitter. Shout out Victor Robles, former Nats legend. Even though it didn't fully work out, he did help us get a ring. Besides the point. So running backs in this draft, there's a lot of good options. Ashton Genty, best running back in this class, not going to be available whatsoever. Omarion Hampton, the consensus number 2 back in this class. He is not going to be available, I believe, at 29. Maybe he slides to 18, 20, 22, but I've seen as high as like 11, 12. So he's not going to fall. Travion Henderson, I think he'll probably be there. Quinshon Judkins will be there. These other guys, Caleb Johnson's going to be there. Cam Scatteroo, Dylan Sampson, Devin Neal, all these guys, Jordan James, Damian Martinez, Trevor Etienne, Bashal Tutin, shout out Virginia Tech. A lot of these guys are going to be available. Taj Brooks, he has some ties to the Commanders, coaching staff with, Texas Tech, played at Texas Tech. So, yeah, and you also got, guys like Kyle Monangai who have some, abilities as well that, produced a lot in college. So just guys to watch out for. Ollie Gordon, there's a lot of backs in this class, and it's going to just come down to preference for Cliff, and if they want a number one back in this class, if that's what they're looking for, then maybe it's going to be one of these first 10 guys. It's going to be a Henderson, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, maybe Scottaboo, but I don't see it. Dylan Sampson, Devin Neal, one of those guys. I really like Bashal Tutin. Maybe I'm biased, but Bashal Tutin with that 4.32 40-yard dash time is an absolute stud. He is a stud, and the knock on him is the fumbling issues, but he didn't lose a lot, and it wasn't a lot of total fumbles that he had. Again, really good speed, good vision, and can run through guys. He's a little bit smaller, but honestly, it's not a big deal. He can block in terms of pass pro, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. So for me, Bashal Tutin is a really good back on day 3. I would say early day 3 is where Bashal Tutin's going to go. They have him at 158, so that's around round 4-ish, round 5 with the comp picks, probably around round 4. And then, Taj Brooks, I would say is a, option day 3, mid-late day 3, like sixth round-ish. You got Brashard Smith, who, some people like as well. Damian Martinez maybe could be a workhorse. But day 1 options for the Commanders, it really comes down to Travion Henderson. And I don't know if he's good enough to take in the first round, that if you want to invest that, I think there's options on day 2 that are better for the Commanders, that make more sense for the draft capital that they have. So I would say take a D-end, maybe a receiver, maybe an O-lineman, whatever the best player available is, at somewhat of a position of need. Go ahead and take those guys, one of those guys. But after that, go ahead and I would say take a running back day 2. And unless you have a guy you really think can produce, or multiple guys in on day 3 that you think can be RB1 or contend for that RB1 position for the Commanders. There's a lot of good options out there. I don't think Breece Hall is going to be one of them. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think a lot of people are making a lot out of this Aaron Glenn quote or whatever. I don't think it really means a lot. It's just coach talk, and I also not super interested in trading for that player. So I much rather go after a guy in the draft. But that is it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video. If you stayed till the end, go ahead and comment down below the running back you want the most for the Washington Commanders in this draft. Peace.